I also get asked when I go to car boots and fairs and craft fairs and things, do I just make small garden boxes? I don't. I make a big variety of boxes, although I have to say that obviously cost is relative, and at most car boots, if you start talking of sort of £20–30 for a specialist box, it's going to get people a bit jittery. However, here's a couple of boxes that people do ask me to make for them, so I do tend to make these to order. This one here, I hope you can pick that up, this actually is an internal barn owl box that you put up on beams inside barns, etc., and encourages the barn owl to obviously breed and hopefully increase the population, because they are fast disappearing. Because, why? Barns are disappearing, so if you've got a barn or an outhouse with a beam, you'd be doing the world a great favour if you invest in one of these boxes, and then you'll have the delightful view of the owlets as they come out and they're feeded by their parents, and they become very, well, I won't say tame, but they do become comfortable with your presence, so it is something that you can see at close range and is, I am assured, very, very worthwhile. The next one to it is, this is an external Tawny Owl Box that you would put up in a tall big tree, quite heavy, so it's a bit of a project, but again the same sort of principle, that these owls are endangered, so anything that we can do to increase their population, we all benefit from, and farmers benefit because these owls are great pest controllers, and if anybody is being really pestered by squirrels, unfortunately you either have to take steps to cull them yourself, which isn't very pleasant, or you let nature do it for you and make sure there's a good population of owls around, just to keep nature in total balance. This is just another alternative owl box for exterior use. Again, very suitable for tawny owls, but not quite as good as the larger box. But then if you are restricted with the size of your garden or the buildings or the trees that you want to put them on, then this is a good alternative. Now here you will notice there is quite a long perching pole. That's perfectly acceptable, because any magpie that dared to come near a tawny owl would get a severe pecking at the very least. So these little chaps would be quite safe, and they do need to come out because they take a bit longer to fledge and get out of the nest, but they do come out onto that pole and they line up and they get fed. And again, it's something really cute to see all the little owlets being fed by their parents. But I do stress that you wouldn't put that sort of pole anywhere near a small bird nesting box, otherwise you're just providing feathered packed lunch for the magpies. And just finally, just to prove to you that I'm not just totally enamoured with our feathered friends, I suppose I could be argued that I'm setting up a feeding station for all these owls, but another rather rarity in the world of nature is the dormouse, and here's a dormouse hibernation nesting box, which again, funnily enough, the RSPB do encourage people to put around, because it's all to do with the balance of nature, and if these food sources aren't readily available, then the birds suffer, and funnily enough so does the dormouse population, because unfortunately the weak ones and the old ones, disease creeps in and it doesn't help their population any. So, you know, let the balance of nature sort itself out. This one is also interesting. It's a new little project that I'm going to be doing this year, and this is a bat box. If anybody's been plagued with gnats and mosquitoes in the summer, I'm very sensitive to their bites, then you're really, really pleased to see a couple of bats buzzing around your house, because two bats will certainly sort out your mosquito problem. But they do need suitable habitats. And our modern houses with all the UPVC, whatever it is, plastic windows and roof linings, etc., does rather restrict their little nesting places. So they're lovely to see. I know the old wives' tales about they stick in your hair and everything. Believe me, it is a nonsense, and if you've ever been privileged enough to handle a bat, I once did, rescued it from a little bonfire situation, and I nursed it, just held it in my hand till it settled down, put it on a wall, and off it flew, and it was just wonderful. It was truly wonderful. So I'm quite touched by bats. I think they're very much underrated. We don't have vampire bats, and they don't give you rabies, so you need lots and lots of facility for them. And here we are. It is the last one, the Hedgehog Box with a feeding station. Cat and dog food is the best thing to feed them. Do not, under any circumstances, give them bread and milk. It gives them terrible diarrhea and they die of dehydration. They are lactose sensitive, so for those of you who do suffer with that sort of problem, you'll know how devastating that can be. So give the little creatures a fair go, as they say. If you feed them through the summer, you will be blessed. They come and eat your slugs. They come and eat your snails, so if you're a gardener and you see a hedgehog, do anything you can to keep him or her and encourage a little family in your garden, because they will certainly save your plants. They really are magnificent little creatures, and contrary to belief, they're not full of fleas. They're not going to give you cat or dog fleas, and anyway, a cat or dog is unlikely to get too close to them because they're full of prickles. Well, there you are. Just to round off, as you can see, my filing system with the tools is still a work in progress, and after all this talk, that leather armchair is looking really good. So I think I'm just going to have a quick contemplate, watch the world go by for a bit. So from Shed World, not an outhouse of the RSPB, just to bring you up to date with things. Thanks for looking, and goodbye from Shed World.